This is the December 17th, 2020 regular meeting of the Darien Police Commission. This is the 2,402nd meeting of the Police Commission. The first order of business is to call to order and then the acceptance of the minutes. Jan sent over the minutes from November 19th, 2020. Brent, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Great. I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Chief, next two are for you. The first one, very nice letter from a resident at Allen O'Neill.
Yes, we had a letter from a resident that we helped last summer. It was Officer Mauricio Vigil, Officer Bryce Brown, Officer Kevin Taggart, and it says Officer Eric Brown, but I believe that's Eric Holder. This is a housing issue up there that she was appreciative of our assistance from the police department, and to show her support, she's going to be displaying blue lights outside of her home, and very appreciative of the work the police did for her there. So duly noted and much appreciated.
Great, thank you. The next is an attachment we had in our pack on the Office of Legislative Research, Municipal Oversight on State Roads. I did read it, Chief, and I did note that I think the fine for failure of people guiding cattle to yield to emergency vehicles is a little excessive. I think we should.
There are some very antiquated statutes like unchurned butter and things that happen like that. But this is actually a very good document. We get asked these questions quite often as to why things happen on state roads and why they don't happen on local roads. And then, you know, who gets the fines if we give out a speeding ticket. So this is a very good, comprehensive Office of Legislative Research document, just as a ready reference for the commission and anybody else who wants to know what happens on state roads. So I thought it'd be a good thing to have. And it's new.
Great, thank you, Chief. Next item, department activity.
Now we'll go to Captain Marin. Hopefully he can unmute. If not, we may have to have him run into my office and sit in my chair.
Can you hear me now?
You can hear you.
I had to resort to my phone because my computer locked up. All right, so we are at department activity.
Correct.
Okay. This report was prepared from the period of November 19th through right now. On November 25th, an Outlook Drive resident reported that his house had been damaged by a BB gun. A contractor working on the exterior of the residence noticed damage to a wooden front door and a crack in a second floor window, which was consistent with damage caused by a BB. Residents stated it happened over the past month. November 27th at approximately 11:30 p.m., officers responded to Middlesex Middle School on an alarm. Investigation revealed that the school had been burglarized, 2 windows were broken, and 2 suspects were able to enter and exit through the school in an unlocked door. This incident remains under investigation. On November 29th, a resident of Avalon, Darien reported that his detached garage had been forcibly entered and his 2018 Yamaha motorcycle was stolen. On December 1st, officers were called to a Goodwives River Road residence on a motor vehicle burglary in progress. Upon arrival, officers observed 3 vehicles being operated at high speeds in an erratic manner. When officers attempted to stop the vehicles, the occupant of one vehicle stopped and abandoned the vehicle, fleeing on foot. Other 2 vehicles continued to attempt to elude officers and would later collide with each other. The second vehicle was abandoned on Long Neck Point Road, and all of the suspects fled in the third vehicle after a pursuit was terminated. The 2 abandoned vehicles had just been stolen from a second Goodwives River Road residence. This incident remains under investigation as well. December 3rd, a 24-year-old man was arrested for his role in a domestic violence incident. On December 3rd, a Garden City Road resident reported that a personal check was stolen out of his mailbox and then forged and deposited for a substantially larger amount to a different person. On December 5th, an Allen O'Neill Drive resident reported that her patio furniture was vandalized sometime over the past month. On December 9th, packages were stolen from the steps of a Rings End Road residence. And an unusual one here. Over the past 2 weeks, we've received reports of hundreds of dead bunker floating near the Rings End Bridge and other coastline areas in Darien. DEEP was advised and explained that they have received widespread reports of this occurrence in many areas of the state right now. It was explained that it is a natural occurrence for this species of fish due to them traveling in large schools in water containing low dissolved oxygen level. And then 19 burglaries of unlocked cars, 6 stolen vehicles, 4 of which were unlocked and had the keys inside. 1 was taken from a dealership, and 1 reportedly did not have the keys inside. And probably different than the paperwork you have in front of you, we added a little bit to our stats for accidents over the past 24 hours. We've had 21 motor vehicle accidents, 7 which involved minor injuries. 3 of them were storm related over the past 24 hours. That's all.
Yeah, just on that note, I'll just make one comment. I see Jamie's on the line as well. I know she addressed it in the state of the town. More importantly, Chief, I think you did a really nice job with the press release that you did recently. And I hope that our residents really do read that, because of the potential consequences that could happen for not locking their cars. And it looks like it's a campaign, obviously, that the police department has had since, I think, 13 years at this point. Lock your car everywhere, every time. And hopefully all the residents are reading that press release, because it's important that we continue to do that. So thank you for doing it.
You're welcome.
Great. Thank you, Captain. Chief, old business, COVID-19 update.
Well, we have 1 additional staff member out with a positive test. We have 2 other staff members that are out with potential symptoms. They're awaiting a test result. Other staff members have returned with the MD clearance, and they're taking reasonable precautions coming back. So we're still doing, all in all, fairly well as far as staffing. We have not seen this, widespread. We're losing mass amount of people at one time. Right now, it's quite manageable. If we have 1 or 2 out at a time, we can manage that pretty well. So thankful, we're doing as well as we can. Our building maintainers, again, I say this every month, they're doing everything possible to keep this building afloat as far as keeping it clean. And all in all, we're hopeful the vaccine comes down the pike for us maybe in the next 30 days for first responders. As soon as possible. I know we have quite a few people who are waiting for that vaccine, your chief included. I'll roll up my arm when that vaccine becomes available. So we're doing pretty well all in all, COVID-wise.
Thank you, Chief. Building issues update.
Captain Shredders, you want to take a crack at building issue updates?
Sure. We had with the assistance of DPW, we retained the services of a commercial plumber, and they installed a new system into the area where we were having the problem. It's a system that's going to inject the line every hour, once an hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 5 minutes. It injects a stream of hot water. So we're hoping that's going to be the remedy that we needed for that particular problem. So fingers crossed.
And HVAC as well, Bob? We'll update on HVAC.
HVAC, the electricians are still here. They ran into numerous complications from the work that the previous vendor, that when we first had the building built, a lot of wiring issues, which has caused a lot of complications and it really delayed the project. So we have a meeting coming up with the chief and I, members of Automated Logic, and DPW staff to talk about our options and what it's going to look like moving forward. Hopefully we can get this wrapped up and get everything stabilized here.
I think the only other thing on building update is our building access system. The contractor's ready to go, so we should be seeing him in the next 30 days here, starting that project as well. And I know the door that the chief and the captains come in is a 50-50 proposition right now for actually opening for us when we get here. So sometimes you gotta take a bit to get access into our building, but the cavalry is coming, so I'm hoping that'll be resolved before spring. I'll be back in business.
Chief, once the work does start, do we have a ETA of when they'll be able to finish?
as far as the building access.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would probably be no more than 30 days once they get on site here.
Okay,
We
great.
may have to run parallel systems for a little bit, but this company was well vetted, and I think they will be amply capable of getting us right back to where we needed to be right at the beginning.
We don't anticipate any disruption in normal activities during that time.
No.
New business.
Captain Charters, quick question for you. I know in the last storm we had, I think, a supervisor vehicle that was damaged. Did anything happen during this past storm, or is everything up and running? Any vehicles that are still looking to be repaired or anything?
No, we're just we got an estimate to repair the one that was damaged from the last storm, but the storm, the police department in the town fared pretty well, and Captain Marion could speak more to that, but the town of Darien made out pretty good with the storm. Nothing major at all to report.
Okay. Chief, new business, traffic issues. So,
7-Eleven, I will hand that off to Captain Shredders as well. Really not too much to report, but I'll let him give you what we have.
Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint everyone. We did not receive the peer review study from Mike Galante yet. We're still awaiting that. And we did receive a revised traffic study proposal from McMahon Associates, which is the people that are representing 7-Eleven. So there's really not much new to report on this front so far. We're hoping that the peer review study will come soon, hopefully next week.
great. Post Road Bridge Project.
As the commission knows, the state DOT is replacing the bridge by Giovanni's on US 1 at the Stanford line. Due to a whole bunch of different issues with subcontractors and utilities, the contractor ran into a significant delay in getting those utilities relocated. They did ask for the town of Darien and the town of Stanford to allow a remaining of one lane in each direction for the next couple months in the winter months, so they wouldn't have to move things and move them back. Had an extensive discussion with Ed Gentile from DPW about this because it is a change in what we approved. The real issue was with Stanford, because coming out of Stanford, we thought that 2 lanes you had to have coming into Darien, where 1 lane exiting Darien typically works a little better. City of Stanford was initially a little hesitant to approve this change, but after discussion with the DOT and the contractors, the City of Stanford has provisionally approved that to leave it in the current configuration. It will save them, I think, 3 months. And my question was, when would they be gone with no dust and that bridge completely done and fully open? And they're estimating it's going to be August at this point. So I think we're okay. I think the folks at Giovanni's would rather just keep it the way it is so we can get this done as quickly as possible. They are going to keep the people on Brookside and Anthony Lane fully apprised. It does appear that Brookside and Anthony Lane, that whole part of that project, the timeline hasn't changed, that those roads will open up at the same time. So being that the City of Stanford was okay with keeping this configuration provisionally, they reserve the right to watch it and make the contractor maybe make some changes if it doesn't go well. But we agreed as well that our traffic exit in Darien has not been it hasn't been problematic. I don't think we've gotten any complaints about a backup leaving Darien through that construction site. So that's the update on that one. It is going to be a very nice bridge once it's done.
Very good. And then last item on traffic issues is the crosswalk at the Post Road and Birch Road.
Yeah, no, a gentleman, I believe at our last meeting or 2 meetings ago, I think it was our last meeting, asked about the crosswalk at Birch Road and US 1. And I had a clear recollection that the Legal Traffic Authority did not ask for that crosswalk. And after thinking about it some more and doing some research in our files and with the state DOT, that's entirely correct. And this is how that crosswalk came to be. So if the person who asked about that perhaps watches this meeting, maybe on Channel 79, back in 2018, the State Department of Transportation and the Traffic Commission changed out all the traffic control signals from on US 1 from entrance 13 eastbound all the way to the Norwalk line. So all the traffic signals there were changed. And as part of that project, the state decided to post the area of the I-95 ramp and the crossover and the island with no pedestrian crossing. Now in the state of Connecticut, you can cross the street, even if you're not at a crosswalk, but you must yield to cars. Now with this new signage, you cannot cross in that area. So the state's thinking was then, and I concur, and the Legal Traffic Authority concurred, that if you were walking eastbound on the Post Road toward the Duchess, on the Duchess side of the street, the sidewalk ends. The state DOT wanted to put a crosswalk in there with ADA compliant ramps, so people walking up the Post Road would have a safe haven on both sides to cross the street over to now what is the exercise fitness place, and then you can continue walking eastbound on the Post Road toward Norwalk on a compliant sidewalk. So that was a good idea then, and I still concur that that's a good idea now. That's why that crosswalk went in. That was a state project. They did ask the Legal Traffic Authority if we had any issues with it, and I didn't then, and I don't now.
Fair enough. Any other issues in new business, Chief?
Not that I am aware of.
And then any other business?
Kevin, briefly, I'll just make a comment. I know you did some, you were talking to the chief and a couple others internally about the additional data collection, right, around accidents and the like. We don't have it on the agenda this time. I'm not suggesting that we speak about it now, but maybe we put that on the agenda in the next meeting if you feel we're prepared to do so.
Yep. Great idea. Thank you, Brent. I will write that as a note. And Jan, I will follow up with you for the next meeting. So I think keeping in our every other Thursday, that puts us at the next meeting on the 31st, which I don't think anybody.
You know what? The meetings are not every other week. It's every first and third Thursday of the month. Yeah.
Right. Well, that then puts us, I got to break out my 2021 calendar.
Let's see.
Third Thursday would be the 21st of January because we miss one on the 31st of the December.
What would be the first Thursday in January?
The 7th.
7th.
That would be our next scheduled meeting.
7th. Okay.
So 5 p.m. TBD if it's in person or virtual, and of course we'll communicate with Commissioner Hufford on that. But Jan, I think it's probably safe to at least just assume that we're going to go ahead with Thursday the 7th at 4 p.m. Sorry, 4 p.m. Right? Yep.
And we should have Michael Ante's report by then. I'm quite confident.
Okay. They are somewhat lengthy, so it might take some time to read and digest, but we will at least have some preliminary feelings about it for the 7th. Okay, anything else, gang?
I think I'm good. I'm glad the storm kind of wasn't as bad as expected, and I'm glad we didn't have any major collisions and nothing down in the road pretty much. Our only power outages, I think, were confined to Delafield Island. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but nothing on any major roads as far as substances. So we're very fortunate.
We get a lot of calls, or?
No, the call volume was very light.
That's good.
Good.
Nothing else on my end, Kevin.
Thank you, Brent. All right. Well, I'm sure we will speak before then, but if we don't, everybody have a happy, healthy.
You as well.
You too.
Take care, guys. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
You too.
Good night.
Okay.